My contestant ID number is 2043, and I'm going to be making coffee cake. So first, we're going to get the 100 grams granulated sugar for that in. Next, I'll get 60 grams of all-purpose flour. Add that in as well. Next, I'll have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, but I just diced it beforehand. I'll put these off to the side. And now I'm going to mix in with my hands and try to get the crumbly texture of the streusel topping. You want to break away those big buttered chunks just so you get the more crumbly topping. And you want to, what I like to do is squeeze with my hands just so I get more of like a crumble texture than just a powder. And now that's done. I'll set this off to the side. And now I'll start on my cake batter. I have a little mess right there, so I'm gonna wipe it off just so everything stays nice and sanitized. I like to clean as I go just so everything isn't as dirty and all stressful whenever it's time to clean up. So now I have 240 grams of all-purpose flour, and then I'm gonna add 200 grams of granulated sugar, and then I'm gonna get 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 1.5 teaspoon of salt. Okay, now I'm gonna whisk this all together just so it's all mixed and combined, and I'll have little chunks of the powder and the salt. Okay, now that is all done, I'm going to put together my wet ingredients. So first, I'm going to get 240 grams of sour cream. I'm going to add that all in. Set that to the side. And then I'm going to get 120 milliliters of vegetable oil, and then 2 large eggs, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm gonna go set these, and then I'm gonna mix this all together. Just until combined. You don't want to see all the big chunks in there besides me. At least to that consistency, it's pretty good. Set that off to the side, and then now I'm gonna add my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients. I'm gonna set that off to the side, and then I'm gonna mix slowly. I don't want to over mix because you still want to see the little bits of chunks in there. I like to go against the bowl just so I get all of the flour and all the dry ingredients basically to combine with the wet ingredients so I get this batter. I did get some in the way, so I'm gonna have to get that out and mix it in. So whenever whenever it's a distance into C, it's pretty good. I want to get all the batter out. So just the right amount for both legs. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside, and then it's a little dirty again, so I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm gonna get my can, and I already have my parchment paper. I'm gonna get some spray and spray it just lightly, and then place the parchment just so it sticks, and then spray over again. After that, I'm gonna get my spatula and then pour one layer. So I want to use just about half of the batter, not too much, because I want to have a little bit more for the top layer. I want to spread it out just so it's even. Now I'm going to get the crumble topping that I made earlier to start to crumble on top. So I'm going to lightly sprinkle the crumble topping. I want to save just a little bit extra for the top. Alright. Now I'm going to add the rest of the batter for the second layer. I want to scrape the sides just so I get all of the rest of the batter. I don't want to waste none. Now I'm going to swirl so I get the marble effect. What I like to do is go side to side, or up and down, and then side to side. And then one time all the way around. And then we won't be needing that anymore. And now it's ready to go in the oven. I already have the oven preheated to 325. I had it set a little bit higher just because it's a conventional oven. And then I'm going to set my timer for about 30 minutes and then we'll check it. After our cake is all out of the oven, I'm going to flip it out. Set that to the side. And then I'm going to cut it straight down the middle. Just so you see the marble effect. And then now I'm going to slice it into thin pieces for serving.